think a lot of people get to winter and they stop everything. They stop shaving their legs. Like, I'm done. I'm going to be a bear. I'm going to hide in my cave.
My goal for 2025, mark my words, you heard it here, was to up my water intake. So drinking water is so important.
Let's talk about food.
Welcome to the I Decide Darlings podcast. I'm Erin.
And I'm Lisa. We are moms, wives, best friends, entrepreneurs, and authors of the book, I Decide, the happy little guide to living your best life. Pull up a chair, grab a glass of wine, and get ready to talk all things health, success, loss, money, family, and everything in between. These two besties won't leave anything off the table.
So get ready to laugh, cry, hear the tips, tools, and stories to give you the success you crave, the life you adore, and the future you deserve. You are listening to the I Decide podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the I Decide Darlings podcast. Erin Lopez.
And Lisa Cox. Hello.
Happy New Year. I think we're going to say that for like the first month. I'm not
I
sure.
know. I heard someone say, how long do we say Happy New Year? I say you say it as long as you want to. How about that?
I mean, anything with the word happy in it. Oh, I forgot to record.
That's right. Well, and it's cold. It's January, and I'm sitting here at my desk wrapped in a blanket with a scarf on, but it's really cold. I mean, and a lot of people across the US, except for California, who's dealing with terrible fires, but everyone's cold. Yeah, prayers for California, my word, and that the winds will stop. But yeah, it's 19 degrees here in Springfield. And how cold is it all even in Houston?
It's cold in Texas. I mean, we do get cold usually in January, but it's cold. I mean, I think today when we woke up, it was 28 degrees.
Oh, that is really cold.
Yeah, it's cold. So, I mean, I personally love it just being from up north. And I feel like this is the time of year it's supposed to be cold.
Yeah.
However, you and I were talking about this earlier, like down here, our houses are not built for this, like my bedroom with the heat on right now is 64 degrees. Like it's just cold. So, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But no complaints because I love it. It's winter. It's supposed to be cold.
It is. It's supposed to be cold, but that doesn't mean we have to like it.
I know. True.
We
Which
don't
is
have to
what
like
we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Because, what does it look like in the winter with our routines, still trying to be healthy?
Mhm.
I've got my heater on. I'm like struggling to go on a walk, but I think we can provide some great tips for like how to stay healthy when we might be having the winter blues.
Yeah. Surviving winter. Winter's survival guide coming at you right now. Well, okay, I'll start. So, number one, we need to do whatever we can to boost our immune system during the winter time. They always call it cold and flu season. When the kids get back into school, they're all, germy together, and they bring it home and everyone gets sick. And it's not just the kids' fault, of course, it's just this time of year. And so it's so important that we do that. And here's a couple ways. Eating seasonal produce like winter vegetables, like squash, sweet potatoes are my favorite. I'm addicted to sweet potatoes. I eat them literally 4 nights a week. Brussels sprouts, root vegetables are packed with nutrients like vitamin C, beta carotene, antioxidants, and things like that. So find your way to root vegetables and things like that are seasonal, because they will give you that extra immunity boost. And then, Erin, vitamin D. We were just talking about this with a nutritionist on our last podcast. It is so important because they say everyone in the world is deficient in vitamin C, even people that live in sunny areas. And in the winter, when we're not getting that direct sunlight, we definitely need to supplement vitamin D. And I don't know exactly, but I heard that 6,000 is a number to watch for it on the bottles.
That's what I've heard. I mean, I don't know. And like the nutritionist that we just talked to, I think everybody's different, but I do feel like if you're getting roughly 6,000, then at least it's efficient in terms of, but yeah, I mean, I was Googling it actually just when, when we got off with her. because she said vitamin D. What was the other thing she said? Vitamin D and magnesium.
And magnesium. Everyone needs
Yeah.
magnesium.
Yeah.
Everyone needs it.
Mhm.
And probiotics also to
Mhm.
help with your healthy gut, because a healthier gut is also directly linked to a healthier immune system. And that is something that we are just obsessed with our company, is helping people get a healthier gut.
100% agree. And first of all, side note, you need to tell everybody, or next time you make your sweet potatoes, you need to do that recipe that you did that had, it had like, I don't know, I don't remember, but we had it when you were here. And it also had like a hot sauce in it. Anyway, it was like delicious. So
Yeah,
you need to drop that next time you make those because they
I
are,
will. I literally just put Greek yogurt and sriracha.
that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
And then
Okay.
I smash them all up, and then I eat it with a salad or with some protein. And it's just, oh, it's so yummy. And it's fairly low glycemic. Sweet potatoes are one of the better
Mhm.
potatoes to eat if you're trying to eat low glycemic and low sugar, which is the way that I eat. And but it also is very satisfying, and especially on a cold winter night, it's just a great way, and a yummy way to make your tummy happy, and on many different levels. So,
Those are
Erin,
all great, reminders about what we should be eating. The other thing that I know we make the switch out this time of year is we switch to the immune collagen.
yes.
So, yeah, so I mean, obviously we take collagen every day, but I even like have my kids take the immune collagen just because of the elderberry and the zinc and everything that's in it. So
Yes.
we definitely make sure. The other thing that I wish I would have documented, because if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. Um, During the break, I clean my girls' backpacks, like I wash them, I take everything out. Because think about it, it's been like 3, 4, 5 months, however long, of like those nasty backpacks, like sitting on the ground and
Yeah.
dragging and everything. So, yeah, over the holidays, I feel like it also kind of becomes our booster of like, all right, let's clean everything, start fresh. And I need that to get them to like some sweet potatoes. But yeah, I love all of those. Such great reminders.
Yeah, that is super smart to get those germs off there. I remember during COVID times, we were so good. I mean, any grocery delivery to our door or anything, we would just get out that antibacterial and clean it right off. And this time of year, and especially in the US, if you're listening from the US, there's a pretty big case of norovirus going around. And so washing your hands, washing everything that touches any germy areas is definitely the way to go. Another tip is and a struggle, let's say that in the wintertime, is staying active, because I don't know about you, Erin, but my little non-huge, I want to say skinny butt, but it's
You do have a
uh,
skinny cut. You can say it.
I freeze. I am so cold-blooded. And so for me, exercising outside right now is just not an option. And
Yes.
I can't handle the cold. And even when we've gone skiing in the past, I love to ski and I have all the gear, and I guess I could get my ski gear out to go walking outside, but it's a struggle. But then that's something that we really need to do to keep our health in the wintertime, is we need to force ourselves to stay active however we can do it. And
Mhm.
that can be, so many different alternative things. Even if we're just standing in front of the TV with weights in our hand and marching in place, doing something to stay active is something that we have to do. How about you? Are you an outdoor girl even in the winter?
No, I mean, I'd like to say I try, but it's cold. So, I feel like the older I've gotten to, I've given myself permission to say, it's okay. Like, I don't want to go outside. It's freezing. So I just make sure, like, the little things, like I told myself today, tonight we don't have extracurricular activities. We're probably going to be at home. So I told myself, because I didn't go on a walk with my poor dog, I'm going to make sure I get out my weights and make sure, like, even if we're in the living room in front of the TV or whatever, I just need to like lift some weights and get my body moving. So no, I mean, I feel like as women, we're so hard on ourselves that like, oh, I didn't go to the gym. However, there's so many things we can do at home now with the weights, with the squats, with the just anything that, yeah, I'm better about it the older I have gotten, of just anything that I can do just to get myself moving and feeling good about it. And weights, have been a real key for me the
Yeah.
past probably year or two. So as much as I'd like to say, I mean, I do like to go outside for like a brisk walk, but it's cold.
I know, but it will make us feel better. And as part of our survival guide, we really recommend that we as women, especially men too, that we find a way, whatever it might be, and even if it's 20 minutes a day.
Mhm.
And we've kind of set ourselves up here at our house where we have all the indoor stuff for a gym and treadmill, all that stuff. But if you don't have that, you can totally do what Erin just said. I mean, just get in front of your television, just march and jumping jacks, the old fashioned
Yeah,
exercises
old school,
work,
baby.
and it will make you feel so much better to stay moving. And then of course there's winter sports. If you can handle it outside, there's things you can do in the wintertime that we can't do in the summertime that can actually be fun. I mean, I do love to ski. I just have to be layered up like a crazy woman to appreciate it. But if you live somewhere that you can go, snowshoeing or skiing or whatever out there, the fresh air does help our mindset also.
The other thing too, and thought process with all of this is, I usually get up in the morning and get my walk and get it out of the way kind of quick. But with the colder months, I'm like, it's okay for me to go out at lunchtime,
Yeah.
when it's gotten a little bit warmer and everything. So I encourage people to like think about that, like, change it up a little bit, go in the afternoon, take an afternoon, like take a little lunch break when it's a little bit warmer. But yeah, I know we're talking about going skiing for our February break. So I
Oh,
love me some winter sports. Okay, I'm going to bring up the third one because this is ironic and everything is drinking water and staying hydrated. So anyone who knows me knows I'm not a huge water fan. I do like to have something in my water. So whether I not am drinking like Go, which is all natural energy, or I've got the She Legit, like the mineral water here. But it's so important. And my goal for 2025, mark my words, you heard it here, was to up my water intake. So
good.
drinking water is so important. Tony is great about having it first thing in the morning with fresh lemon and some Himalayan salt. So I just don't think, myself included, we understand how important water is to us. So Lisa, you're very good about water.
Well,
So
well, and I still don't think I'm good enough. And that's the thing. I think some people think they're drinking a ton of water and they're actually not. And I do know in the wintertime, it's really normal for us because we aren't sweating like I do. I go to hot yoga, so I sweat like a crazy person all the time. But if you're not getting that normal hot heat sweat, then you don't think about water like you used to in the summertime. When you're sitting outside in the summertime, most of us are much better with our water. So what I recommend is have that glass or Stanley cup or whatever you use full around you all the time. When you drink it, fill it. When you drink it, fill it. And then I was actually visiting with my niece, and who's also a good friend of Erin's, and she was recommending that I add these some electrolytes to my water, because even if I feel like I'm drinking a ton all day long, which I do drink a ton of water, I'm still sweating out way more than most people because I go to hot yoga and I sit in my sauna. So, so if you're like me and you do sweat a ton, then you kind of need to drink even more than what you think you need. They
yeah.
say about 96 ounces a day would be the right thing. I know it sounds like so much.
But
So
it's so good for you. And I feel like there's so many benefits to it, topically, your skin, your hair, your nails, everything. But, you mentioned, gut health and the microbiome. I mean, drinking water, I know, because we both know, being so focused and hyper focused on health, it sounds crazy to me how many benefits water actually has for your body. So I think water is great. And you taught me, for the Go and supplements that I add to my water, you warm them up.
I
So
do. Yes, I love warm drinks, and I certainly don't want to drink coffee more than, I drink a cup of coffee in the morning. But then I try not to drink it the rest of the day. And so I just put hot water in, like, my energy drink, the Go, which is the all natural energy drink. And it feels so cozy and good. And we are getting some water out of that. They do recommend plain water as much as we possibly can. but at least you're getting your water intake in.
Well,
So
my new goal is to have like the Go and then have a regular water and then do like the Revitalize with She Legit and then kind of, mix it up a little bit. So I'm getting it.
yeah,
Yeah.
make it
And
not boring. We don't want to get bored.
yeah. No
Yeah.
excuse. No, I work from home. I mean, I can go to the bathroom. The other thing that I think people need to recognize is this time of year is humidifiers, like how important they are. I love my good skin. I love to make sure it's getting nourished. And I think humidifiers is so important for our kids, for our pets. The older we are, I mean, everything. I hope everyone has a really great humidifier that they're using this time of year.
Yes, and you just reminded me to get mine out. 'Cause I don't have one actually on the heater in our house, and so we just have to put one in our room, so I'm gonna do that. That's a great idea. And then another tip for our survival is prioritizing sleep. Sleep
Mm,
is so important. I'm so glad that all these experts have come out and told us how important it is to get 8 or 9 hours a night, because
mhm.
for so long everybody was like, you don't need to sleep more than 4 hours. If you're going to be successful, you got to get up at 5 in the morning. And I was like, I just can't do it. I
Yeah.
require a lot more sleep than that. And making sure that it's a consistent sleep schedule is also very important in the wintertime when the sunlight changes, it gets dark earlier and things like that. It can really throw off a lot of people. But it's important to prioritize it for yourself and make sure, like for me, I'm usually heading back to wash my face and get ready to get into bed and read about 9:30, 10 o'clock every single night. And on the nights where I don't do that, I sure pay the next day. I'm exhausted from messing with my schedule. So it's really important to do that and create a cozy sleep environment for yourself and just set yourself up for the win,
Yeah.
basically, on the sleep topic, because it's so important for your health, for longevity. If we want to live a long time, we need to get a good amount of sleep each night and make sure you have a good pillow, good sheets, everything that makes you just feel so good when you're tucking in at the end of the day.
I agree. I think you and I are both really good about this. Like sleep has always been a number one thing for us. And in our household too, even since the kids were little, like sleep, I don't know, sleep to me just is a cure all for
Oh, yes.
thoughts, sickness. I mean, anything. So yeah, I'm on board for this one because I
Yeah.
love me some sleep, especially in the colder months too. I don't know what it is, but I like my room to be chilly and get in the covers and make it all that kind of good stuff. Another great tip that I think is super important this time of year is skincare. So my
Yes.
skin, I know, gets super dry. And this is the time of year that, summer is obviously very important because we want to make sure we're doing SPF, but it's just as important this time of year because the sun is still out there that, again, making sure that we're doing that. But this is when I make sure that I'm using really great moisturizers with SPF. And Lisa, what did we just start using that I feel like I'm totally a follower on this, but I kind of like it. The
What?
beef, the beef tallow.
Oh, I was like, what is she talking about? Oh my gosh, I love the beef tallow.
I
I
know.
can't believe it. We have such beautiful skincare products in our line, which I'm still using on top of the beef tallow.
Mhm.
But this beef tallow thing is weird, but I like it.
I like it because it is thicker. I mean, I don't know that I'll
Mhm,
use it year round, but I
mhm.
think this time of year, if you haven't tried the beef tallow kind of craze right now, it's definitely worth looking into. And again, I like that it's kind of more of a thicker uh,
Yes.
moisturizer, for this. And I still use all of my same products too, but I
Yeah.
just make sure this time of year I'm putting on a little bit. And I make sure this time of year I up kind of like my UV lights. We know we're both crazy about that.
Yeah.
Um, but I think all of these things are so important just in general. But I think, when we're indoors a little bit more in this time of year, it's kind of a fun time to like take a step back and you got a little extra time at home. So wear your little cute mask and scare your husband. It's great.
Yeah, and use those red lights. As far as the skincare survival tips, I just always tell myself and tell other people don't forget the rest of your body. Like some of us take really good care of our faces and then we forget our necks and our décolleté and our arms and I think our elbows, everything gets dry. Everything gets dry in the wintertime. So really maybe over moisturize a little bit in all the different areas, not just your face.
Yeah. I'm neurotic about my neck. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like, as I'm covering it right now, but I feel like, your neck is like the first place that you start to see really aging. So yeah,
Yeah.
I am, but it's such a great reminder because, you think about your hands and everything. Tip for the wise, put all this stuff next to your bed. So, once I'm usually a night shower. So I shower, I get ready for bed, what have you. I definitely put on my body firming foam as soon as I get out of the shower, which is a life changer.
Yes.
But I have all of my kind of night routine right next to my bed. So, I'm one to forget a lot of things, but now that they're next to my bed, it's kind of just part of my bedtime routine.
I love that, Erin. I don't do that. I just do it
You
all in my
know?
bathroom, but I love that idea. I do have my magnesium spray for my feet next to my bed, but I'm gonna maybe do that also. Maybe change that up a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think also one of the things that kind of rolls into our next survival tip is that when you do all these little things, I swear you just feel so much better. I don't. It just helps my mental state when I know that I'm taking care of my body and doing the things that make it feel and look better. I feel like I have a stronger mindset when I'm doing that consistently and not letting that stuff go. I think a
Mhm.
lot of people get to winter and they stop everything. They stop shaving their legs. They just are like, I'm done. I'm gonna be a bear. I'm gonna hide in my cave. But when you consistently take care of your body and yourself, it just I don't know, it just makes you feel better.
No.
Just makes you feel better. And the next thing here that we wanted to talk about is seasonal affective disorder. So that's when it's like light deprivation. That's when you don't get enough light and then you start to feel depressed. And
Mhm.
I think doing all of these things we've talked about so far and really can help you not feel that type of depression. And I think sometimes people slide into it pretty easily in the wintertime. And I think a lot of it has to do with not keeping up with their normal schedule,
Mhm.
and not seeing the sun like we used to see the sun in the summertime, and maybe not having enough things to do for a while. January, February, March, you can have months where there's just not tons of activities because it's just kind of quiet winter months and people
Mhm.
can get really down, and it's really important that they fight that with however they can. Light therapy, they have special lights that pop
Mhm.
on in the morning, like with your alarm, to where it's like the sun is coming up in your room and it gives you some of that light therapy. Making sure you get natural lights. Even if
Mhm.
you work at home, move your desk closer to the window in the wintertime so you can feel that natural light.
Yeah,
Um,
and this is real, like, SAD, like the, short acronym for it. It's real. Like, I mean, I have friends that literally it's kind of a mindset thing too. And I'm glad that you said that because I feel like, doing all of these things, as maybe as silly as they sound, it creates like mindfulness, which is just great for our mental health. And having seasonal affective disorder, whether or not we recognize it's called that or not, it's just kind of the whole, a little bit just more sad and internal of being inside. Go take the walk.
yeah.
That's when we really say, like, okay, I know it's cold outside. And there are days where I think I just have to get out of the house. And so I will bundle up. And I think that's part of it is we get into the habit, especially in the colder states, that, these seasons can truly affect us. So
Yeah.
I think that leads us into a great one, which is stress. We did our fun podcast about the stressful holidays, that I think it's so important just to keep, speaking of being mindful of, the stress that kind of come around with the holidays, because let's be honest, a lot of stress too is financial. So making sure that we just wrapped up the holidays, there are people that are, tight financially. So I think it's really recognizing too, like how we're handling our stress, what we're doing to be mindful of our stress, like, all of these things too are helping us with just that stress. But I know I try and be a little bit more mindful this time of year, not only because it's a new year, but like in my prayer life and taking time. And I think
Mhm.
that that is super important this time of year because, there's a lot of stress going on in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, some people surely feel it,
Mm,
this time of year after the holidays, especially as
yeah,
financial stress, but
yeah, yeah,
yes, I love that. I love that tip. I think it's so important. And it's important for us to stay on top of that all year long. No question. Sometimes it just really bubbles to the top if you're feeling down or if you're having a hard time dealing with, with winter time
yeah.
in your area. And eating, let's talk about food. Okay, so I mean, it's real easy to fall into comfort foods that are not healthy for you in the wintertime because I don't know about you, Erin, but we're layered up and even in the houses with sweats and jackets and coats and sweaters and big baggy things where you don't have to like see yourself.
Mm,
And you may not be putting on that bathing suit to see where you are and not realizing that you're, putting the wrong things in your body that aren't healthy, don't make you feel good. You might be more lethargic because of the cold. And so again, food, it's so important. Food, for your body and for a nutrition instead of for comfort is a really good way to look at it to survive winter and get out of it without having a bunch of damage done to your body. And
mm,
one of the tips I think from me, and I would love yours also, but it's definitely getting enough healthy fats and high protein because that's what really fills you up. And I think if you eat a bunch of carbs, you're not going to be full very long,
mm,
and then you're going to start seeing yourself gaining weight. And it's not all about the weight or the size that you are. It's more about the way that you feel on the inside and how your body's reacting to eating too many carbs in the wintertime and how it makes you tired and how you don't have the same energy levels. And so I think it's just super important that we stick to how we would eat in the summertime. We stick
mm.
to that in the wintertime and getting that protein and those healthy fats in. Like avocado, the superfood. I try and add a half of avocado into our day every single day somewhere, wherever I can pop it in a salad, put it in, put it on top of soup or whatever. But I just think that eating it's so important the way we do it. And I just don't want people just to let it go because they're hiding under all the clothes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think it's really important for people to recognize. I mean, I think in our household, we don't really change things up a lot. And again, maybe it's because we live in Texas, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me a crock pot and I love me some soup. But I think we're really routine. And I think
Mhm.
that people need to recognize there is so many powerful benefits to a routine
Mhm.
that we don't really change a lot. Now granted, we're in a stage of our life where we're super busy, super this, so we don't really make a lot of changes, but I do feel like it's such an important reminder for people in the winter to
Mhm.
make sure you're still getting all of those things and the fresh salads and the fresh fruits and the, like you said, and the nuts and everything. So, and by the way, all of these foods that you should be eating go back to where we talked about before, which is boosting our immune health.
Yes.
I think that's another way that we can combat, all of this yummy, yucky sicknesses going around is because, we're eating normal. And I think that's the key that people need to realize is that it's the normal. I mean, I love a good, yummy Sunday, that we're watching football and, and eating, you know, things that we're allowing ourselves. But then on Monday, we go right back to, eating our normal kind of healthy lifestyle. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a super important one this time of year.
One of the best tips on eating that I think I've ever heard is you can have anything you want. You just can't have it all the time. And so don't deprive yourself of everything that you love. Just
Mhm.
make it special. Make it a special event. And I've mentioned this before on our pod, but we have what we call Sweet Sunday. And on Sundays, because I used to be completely addicted to sugar, like it was my thing. I didn't care ever about the chips and the all that stuff, but I wanted a warm baked cookie or a piece of cake. That was my addiction was sugar. And I broke it about 2 years ago and it wasn't easy. I'll tell you, it was one of the hardest things I quit eating was sugar. but we still allow ourselves something sweet on Sunday. And it's not a whole cake. I don't even keep stuff like that in the house anymore because of the temptation. But it's a treat. It's something that we can eat that we feel like it's special. We might have a little bit of dessert or something, or a couple bites of something yummy, and then we're done for the week. And I say we because Steve kind of just plays along and is a wonderful sport. He's not a very sugar guy anyway. But we'll have a little sweet something on Sunday, and that is our special day. And this, this doctor that was talking about, you can have anything you want, just don't have it all the time. It makes our Sunday really special, because we know we can have a little something on that day. And so definitely enjoy the things you love, just in real moderation to keep your body feeling and functioning at its highest level.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I think, yeah, I mean, that's in life, right? I mean, if we do everything in moderation, then, you know, I remember the good old days of me like working out like a crazy woman, making sure I ate like a crazy woman. Like, all of those things, I think are just everything in mindful moderation to make
Yeah.
sure that we're being consistent and longevity and sustain, all those good words that
I
we
love that. I mindful moderation. I think that is the word of the day.
all.
So a couple other things that Erin and I talked about, like dressing in plenty of layers, so you can, so that you are warm when you go outside, or have layers on in your house. It just keeps you feeling better when you're dressed properly. I remember when I was younger, it was all about what the outfit I was wearing. Nowadays, it's all about being warm. So that has definitely changed, and I'm not the fashionista that Erin is. So
Yes, you are.
Erin might say it differently, but I definitely believe in making sure you have the right gear. You know, I actually have heated gloves that Steve bought me because I freeze so much, and you turn them on and they heat. It's incredible. So there's gear like that.
Yes, and I was not privy to that. So we just went to Louisville for volleyball right before the holidays, and a girlfriend of mine had on like a heated jacket, and
Yeah,
I was like, "What is your jacket doing? It's like glowing." And she was like, "Oh, it heats up." I'm like, "What? Who are we these days?" Like,
amazing.
I didn't even know that was a thing. And she had like a heated jacket, and she had a little vest, and now I know that there's gloves. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
there's no
It's great.
excuses anymore.
That's right. That's right. I do need to get one of those heated jackets so that I'm better about walking my poor little dog. She's looking at me all the time, like, take
I
me
know.
outside. Okay. The next thing, staying safe on slippery surfaces. So this is, and if you don't live in an area where you get snow, this might sound so silly, but I mean, so many people in our area get hurt from slipping on their driveway, or walking out on their front porch and slipping and then breaking a hip or breaking their hand. It is a real thing that people have to be so careful about. And so that's just a tip. Just be aware of that, because you don't want an injury, that lasts you until summertime. You don't want that. And that'll stop you from doing all the other things that you want to do.
No, that is good. Yeah, be smart. We down south, we like watching the videos of you people who don't be mindful of that. So make sure you are smart on that.
Yeah, I know. We had a snow this week, and I looked at Steve Cox. I said, honey, no slipping. We're going on vacation next week. We want
Yes.
to be healthy. So
Yes.
no slipping.
Oh,
So last but not least is probably the most
yeah.
important survival tip for everybody. We've talked a little bit about it already, but supporting your mental health during wintertime is so important. Stay in touch with yourself. I
Yeah.
love what you just said, mindful eating. Well, it's also like mindful, just being like open with your heart with how you're feeling, really taking those body checks, those heart checks, where you're like, how am I feeling? Am I doing okay this winter? And and if you do have some downtime, enjoy it. If you're stuck in your house, I know lots of our friends up in Kansas City got snowed in. Um, Learn to enjoy the downtime
Make the
instead
best.
of feeling the stress.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I miss those snow days, that you are literally forced to like, take a moment. And we talked about this earlier, that I got struck with the virus over the holidays. And one of the beauties of it was, I don't tend to slow down. So
Mhm.
it forced me to really like slow down and take some time. And we really want to encourage everybody, not only that it's winter, but it's a new year. It's
Yeah.
2025, that it's such a great opportunity for us to take a step back and take a look at, who we are, what we're doing, and be honest with ourselves about where our hearts are, where our minds are. We are big advocates of counseling, of seeing somebody,
Mhm.
that I think we live in a world now that's okay and that's good. And I'm the first to say talking to somebody is such a beautiful thing. So
Mhm.
we would be silly not to bring this up to anyone listening, that it's a great time of year to just take a step back and see where we're at mentally, and do make adjustments, make mindset changes, like we said, mindful moderation, because man, we have a whole new year ahead of us and we can do some really great things this year for sure.
Mhm. Oh, I love that, Erin. Yes, and I love that you recommend seeking help if needed. And that is so important, because if it's getting to you, it's getting to you, and feelings are facts. And so go talk to a professional that can definitely serve you in that way. But together we're going to get through this winter, and we're going to actually thrive this winter and make the most of it and every day. And just super, super glad that you tuned in to listen to us jabber on about our survival tips.
Yeah, I love it. It was good for me. And it's so great. Even when we come up with these ideas and these topics, we think, who can we serve? Who can we like tell something? But it's always good for us too. Like
Oh,
I
for
walk away from all of these and I'm like, yeah, you know what? We do need to do that. I'm going to make a good dinner tonight. So I
sure.
love that we got to come on and do this and
Me
kind of
too.
survival winter guide for everybody listening, because as always, we love that you're tuning in and listening to us and just hearing two friends talk about life and hopefully touching lives that are listening to us.
That's right. Thank you, Erin. I love it.
Love it. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on the I Decide Darlings podcast. And guess what? We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
You've been listening to the I Decide Darlings podcast. If this podcast touched your heart, please share it with your friends and family right after you subscribe yourself. Don't forget to head over to iDecideBook.com and grab a copy of our favorite book and daily journal. As always, thank you for being here, and we can't wait for you to hear our next episode.